The dust of Mali swirls around his weathered sandals as Ibn Battuta stares at something impossible, a library containing more books than all of Europe combined. The year is 1352. While European chroniclers paint Africa as a dark continent of savage tribes, this Moroccan scholar stands witness to civilizations that would make Paris weep with envy. His name is Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Battuta. Born in Tanya in 1304, he possesses something more dangerous than any sword, an unquenchable curiosity and the courage to record what he sees, even when it shatters everything his world believes about Africa. At 21, he set out for Mecca on pilgrimage. He will not return home for nearly 30 years. But it is his journey through Africa that history has tried to bury. Because Ibn Battuta witnessed something that would challenge 7 centuries of European propaganda, the truth about medieval Africa's extraordinary civilizations. The first revelation strikes him in 1325, crossing the Sahara toward Egypt. The trade routes pose with wealth that defies imagination. Caravans stretch for miles, laden with gold, ivory, and salt. These are not primitive wanderers, they are sophisticated merchants operating commercial networks that span continents. Their navigation skills surpass anything he has seen. Their knowledge of astronomy guides them across trackless desert with precision that would humble European navigators. In Cairo, African students debate philosophy in universities while European peasants can barely write their names. The Al-Azhar Mosque University thrums with intellectual energy. Scholars from across Africa gather here, dissecting Aristotle, advancing mathematics, refining medicine. Ibn Battuta watches African astronomers calculate the Earth's circumference with stunning accuracy. Their libraries contain treatises on surgery, optics, and engineering that will not reach Europe for centuries. But the true shock awaits him in East Africa. Kilwa's harbor in 1331 bristles with ships from China, India, Persia. This Swahili city-state commands maritime trade networks that make Venice look provincial. Ibn Battuta marvels at the architecture, coral stone mosques whose geometric perfection rivals Granada, palaces with running water and sophisticated sewage systems. The Sultan of Kilwa mints his own gold currency, accepted from Madagascar to Mumbai. The people astound him most. These are not the barbarians of European imagination. They are polyglots who speak Arabic, Persian, and local languages with equal fluency. They debate theology with sophistication, compose poetry that moves him to tears, and navigate by stars with knowledge passed down through generations. Their legal systems blend Islamic law with African jurisprudence in ways that create justice, not chaos. Then comes the moment that will haunt European consciences for centuries. In 1352, Ibn Battuta enters the Mali Empire at its golden zenith. Emperor Suleiman ibn Mansur rules over territory larger than all of medieval Europe combined. The capital, Niani, sprawls along the Niger River like a medieval Manhattan. Markets overflow with goods from across the known world. The royal treasury contains so much gold that when Mansur Musa made pilgrimage to Mecca 27 years earlier, he distributed so much wealth in Cairo that it crashed the regional economy for a decade. But it is Timbuktu that stops Ibn Battuta's heart. This city of 100,000 souls houses the University of Sanko, where 25,000 scholars study everything from astronomy to poetry. The private libraries of wealthy merchants contain hundreds of thousands of manuscripts. Books are more valuable than gold here. Young men memorize the entire Quran while mastering mathematics that won't reach Paris for generations. The legal debates he witnesses display sophistication that rivals Baghdad in its prime. Ibn Battuta records it all: the hydraulic engineering that brings water to desert cities, the surgical procedures that save lives European medicine cannot touch, the diplomatic protocols that maintain peace across vast empires. He documents democratic assemblies where common people debate policy with rulers, environmental conservation practices that sustain agriculture in harsh climates, and educational systems that produce scholars whose knowledge spans continents. When he finally returns to Morocco in 1354, Ibn Battuta faces a terrible choice. He has witnessed African civilizations whose achievements dwarf contemporary Europe. He has seen libraries that make Oxford look like a rural schoolhouse, cities whose sophistication makes London seem provincial, and governance systems more advanced than anything north of the Mediterranean. But Europe's narrative is already hardening. The myth of African inferiority serves too many interests. It justifies the slave trade just beginning to gain momentum. It excuses European technological backwardness, it provides psychological comfort to societies that lag behind in almost every measure of civilization. So history buries Ibn Battuta's African testimonies. His accounts survive, but they are ignored, dismissed, or deliberately misinterpreted. European mapmakers erase African cities from their charts. Chroniclers write Africans out of their own achievements. The magnificent civilizations Ibn Battuta documented are systematically forgotten. 7 centuries later, we are still uncovering what he knew all along, that medieval Africa was not the dark continent of European fantasy, but a blazing sun of human achievement that illuminated the world while Europe stumbled through its own darkness. Ibn Battuta's journey reminds us that truth, however inconvenient, has a way of surviving. His courage to record what he saw, rather than what his world wanted to believe, offers us a mirror for our own times, when the stories we tell ourselves about others reveal more about our fears than their realities.